talk about grammar and the topic of prepositions and preposition phrase. So, what's a preposition? So far, before we start talking about prepositions, prepositions or a preposition is a part of speech. So it's another part of speech. So before that, we have already discussed in the past course nouns and pronouns, which are also parts of speech. We have determined what a verb is and also what an adjective and adverbs are. So we talked about pronouns, nouns and pronouns, adverbs, verbs, and adjectives, and today we're gonna discuss a different or another part of speech, which is prepositions. So a preposition is, let me get the pencil. A preposition is a part of speech, it's another part of speech that we use to express the relationship between two words. For example, if I say I or Muhammad is standing on the chair. So here is the preposition, which is on. It's a word that shows or expresses the relationship between two different words. It tells us the relationship between Muhammad and the chair, that Muhammad is standing on the chair, not standing next or nearby the chair. Okay? So another example, the cat is hiding under the desk. The cat is hiding under the desk. The preposition under, it shows us the relationship between the cat and the desk. It shows us the fact that the cat is sitting under the desk, not over the desk, not next to the desk, not to the right of the desk. Okay? So preposition shows us the relationship between two words. So this is the preposition, the word on, and this is, we call it a prepositional phrase. On the chair. Okay, on the chair. So what's a preposition phrase? It's a group of words that has a preposition, that's the main ingredient. This is the essential ingredient, the preposition. It also has an object of the preposition. The object here is the word the word chair. Okay, and maybe as optional any other word that modify the object. For example, if I say Muhammad is standing on the big blue chair, it's a similar sentence. However, here, get the pencil, here is the preposition phrase, which is a bit longer this time. Okay, it has a preposition which is on, has an object of the preposition, which is the word chair, and it has the optional elements, some words that modifies the object of the preposition. The big blue, the word big and blue, it modifies the word chair. All right, it modifies the word chair. It tells us that it's just not a regular chair, it's a big blue one. It's not a yellow, it's not red, it's not black. No, it's blue. It's a big blue one. So this is the prepositional phrase. It has a preposition which is on, it has an object of the preposition which is chair, and it has as optional, it has other word, maybe it has another word that modifies the object of the phrase. Now let's take a look at some of the prepositions that are very common. So first we have about, we have above, we have across, we have after, against, along, among, around, at, before, and so on. We have so many prepositions that you need to get yourself familiarized with. Most of them, perhaps most of them you already know by now. So let's take a look at some of the examples. The student studies in the library. Here is the prepositional phrase, and here's the preposition, and that's the object of the preposition. Another example, we enjoyed the party. We enjoyed the party. That's another example. Example B. We enjoyed the party at your house. At here is the preposition, and that's the prepositional phrase, at your house, and that's the object of the prepositions. Sometimes we can have two preposition phrases in one sentence, as in C. We went to the place, we went to the zoo, that's the first prepositional phrase. In the afternoon, that's the second prepositional phrase. Normally, we would state or we would put the place, the preposition phrase that expresses the place, we would the place preposition or preposition phrase before the time prepositional phrase. Here we have two preposition phrases. This is the first one, to the zoo, and this is the second one, in the afternoon. To the zoo, it shows us the or expresses the place. It tells us where did we go. In the afternoon, it tells us when. So it's a time or a temporal. It's a time prepositional phrase. If we have two preposition phrases, we should put the place first. We should talk about the place first. Then we should talk about the time next. You should also know, as an example D, we should also know that the preposition phrase may come at the beginning of the sentence. May come at the beginning of the sentence. In this case, it should be followed by a comma. In the afternoon, we went to the zoo. All right, so let's take a look at some of the exercises. In this exercise, exercise 3, we're gonna define or locate the preposition and its object, or the object of the preposition. So, number 1, grasshoppers destroyed the wheat in the field. This is the prepositional phrase, and the preposition is in. The object is the word, the field. The waiter cleared the dirty dishes from our table. That's our prepositional phrase, and this is the preposition, and that's the object of the preposition. I parked my car in the garage. In the garage, that's the prepositional phrase, and this is the preposition, and that's the object of the preposition. Number 4, trees fell during the violent storm. Here is the prepositional phrase. During is the preposition, storm is the object, and violent is a word that modifies the word storm. It tells us that if the storm was violent, it's not a quiet storm, it's not a mild storm, no, was violent. Number 5, cowboys depended on horses for transportation. Here we have two preposition phrases: on horses, this is the first one; for transportation, this is the second one. We walked to the park after class. We walked to the park after class. This is the first prepositional phrase. After class, this is the second prepositional phrase. So now we have, we talked about the preposition. We talked about prepositional phrases. Now let's, before we move on, let's talk about compound prepositions. Let me get that clear. So, prepositions come in two forms. Either single prepositions, we call them prepositions, such as in this sentence. Muhammad is standing on the chair. The word on is a preposition. Or, Muhammad bought the red book instead of the blue book. Let me get the comment. Yes, answer. Here's the prepositions. Instead of. So Muhammad chose to buy the red book over the blue book. This is a compound preposition. We call it a compound preposition. It's a preposition which is composed compound preposition. It's a preposition composed of two or more words. Okay, it has more than one word. Cancel. It has more than one instead of it's composed of two words. It has the same function. It's just composed of two words instead of one regular word. So now we've talked about prepositions and the prepositional phrase. We're gonna discuss the functions of the prepositional phrases in another video. Thank you, class. Have a nice day.